crazy.
Ma'am.
And allegedly damaged it, and you want the defendants to pay for the cost of repairing your car.
Correct.
Me, I'd want the kid to pay, but he's only 16, so if I rule against the parents, it's the parents' responsibility to torture him by hopefully making him get a job and do something. You can stand up next to your parents, please. The defendant says that he did throw a chair at your car, right?
Yes, I did.
But that you deserved it,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Miss Cole, do you know these people?
Not very well. They live up the street from me.
How long have you lived there?
About a year.
How long have you lived in your house?
A year.
And who do you live with, Miss Cole?
I live with my boyfriend, Derek Nesbitt.
When did this incident occur?
It was August 21st of 2006 at 9:30 p.m.
Tell me what happened.
I had just dropped my boyfriend off at work, and I was on my way home, and I turned onto our street. They live on like the second house on the street, and the chair came and hit my window and kind of rolled down my car, and I swerved over, pulled over, and got out. And I was angry and scared at the same time. I was 6 months pregnant at the time. And I asked him if he had anything else to throw, and they were just screaming at me to slow down. And I got back in my truck, and I told them I was going to let my boyfriend handle it because I'm not a confrontational kind of person.
Good.
So,
very smart.
So I got back in my car, I went home and called the police. The officer came to my home and asked me to drive around to their house. I had her friend with me at the time, and we went around there, and me and I believe his father and the officer were just looking at my vehicle when I'm not sure how many people were there. More than 5 or 6 people were in the street with my sister and her friend arguing and cursing, and I got so overwhelmed with them yelling, calling me a criminal. I could have hit their children or their pets. Or
You think you were going too fast?
I do not. I had just turned a corner, so I don't believe I was speeding, no.
Okay. Do you work, Miss Cole?
I do. Right now I'm on maternity leave, though.
All right, young man. Why don't you tell me about what happened on August 21st?
Well, we were sitting outside, and we were
Who was sitting outside?
Me and everybody seen here, and I had some friends over because we were going to go ride.
Riding where?
Ride my bike, just ride around town. And she comes hauling around the corner. She doesn't even lose any speed around the corner. And before, when she went down the street first, she was going pretty fast, and we all yelled at her to slow down. And then on our way back, you know, about 20, 30 minutes later, she comes hauling around the corner, loses no speed at all, and I'm sitting in a chair, and my reaction is just to throw it.
Well, you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. That's outrageous. It was very simple. I wish they were all so simple. If you think she's speeding, she's not doing the right thing, call the police. And if you think she's acting in an irresponsible manner, send her a letter that she's endangering people in the street. But you don't pick up an object and throw it at her. What if you had a gun in your hand? Would you have shot her?
No.
Well, what if you threw a chair at her and she lost control of her car and went into a tree and got hurt?
But what if it was my friends on the bike, or me on the bike, or my little cousin?
They weren't! You were sitting on your porch, in your chair. But what if you threw a chair at her car and she lost control of her car and swerved off and went into somebody's porch where they were sitting on their porch? You know whose fault that would be?
Mine.
Right. We don't have vigilantes here. You ever been in trouble with the law before? Look at me. Have you ever been in trouble with the law before?
No, not a big trouble.
Not a big trouble?
No.
What kind of little trouble?
Just like curfew.
What does that mean, like curfew?
Just being out like 10 minutes past curfew.
Right. You think I believe that? Can I see pictures of the truck?
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a couple of things to ask. First of all, we were sitting in the driveway, not on a porch.
I don't care if you're sitting on the driveway, the porch, or in your
We've
attic.
already asked her plenty of times as she was driving down our street to slow down.
How have you asked her, Mr. Moser?
Well, yelling at her while
That's
we're
not asking her.
It is asking her.
No, Mr. Moser.
Okay, we're telling her.
No, Mr. Moser. What you do is you write her a letter.
We didn't know where she lived.
Then you call the police.
We
and you
did.
Give them, when?
We called the police the very first time. They said that the only thing you can get is a license plate number.
So why didn't you do that?
We didn't. She's going too fast.
Oh, Mr. Moser, that's a lot of baloney.
Well, okay.
That's
fine.
a lot of baloney, sir.
Right.
Because Listen to me. If you saw this lady time and time again coming past your house, and she lives a block away from where you live, then you go and look for her car in the year that she's been living there. So don't give me a lot of baloney.
She lives behind another house.
When was the last time, sir, that you followed the car to try to get a license plate to give the police?
I'm
which
not
is
a
what
cop.
they said.
That's not my job.
No, but it's your son's job to throw a chair at the car.
It's her job to be responsible for the vehicle.
It's not your job to police her, Mr. Moser. That's not your job.
Right.
Your job is to police your own children.
And I was doing that.
You weren't policing your children.
Well, someone needs to police her.
That's the job of the police,
Well,
not your
you're asking me
16-year-old
to follow
son.
her.
Oh, you're an idiot. No wonder he threw a chair at
So
her.
he's an idiot too, then.
Well, he is, certainly. The apple don't fall far from the tree, Mr. Moser.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If he threw a chair at her, was killed, you would be visiting him in state's prison. And if you don't get that, I can't do anything about it. You're too old and too thick.
And later today,
Who are the witnesses?
They're neighbors across the street from them.
You live across the street from there?
Yes.
Carrie Cole claims neighbor Justin Snoke threw a chair at her car while she was driving down the street. Justin says Carrie was driving like a maniac.
Listen to me very carefully, sir. If she's doing the wrong thing, it's not the right of a citizen to do any more than report the action to the police. It is not the right of a citizen to pick up a chair and throw it in her car.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I
Let me give
understand
you
that.
another example, sir. Let us say you're standing over an overpass with a large boulder, and you see someone going 85 miles an hour in a 55-mile zone. You think that you have the right to drop that boulder on their car?
No.
Why not? That's your theory. Your theory is you're endangering people, and therefore I have the right to protect my family. You think your son would have the right to do that?
Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. We were playing ball out in the street. And
No, you were not. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie.
No, because listen, the very first time this lady came down our street, we were playing ball in the middle of the street. She did not slow down for us at all. We grabbed the kids.
That's not true, Yana.
Just a second. Of course it's not true.
Okay.
He's making it up as he's going along. Making it up as he's going along. But on the way home, he's sitting with his behind in a chair. Wasn't dangerous.
The incident playing the ball was not on the same time.
Several times for 3 months to slow down.
Call the police.
We did,
You
on the
don't
night of the
throw
incident.
a chair.
The night of the incident, before the chair was thrown.
Just a second. Would you do me a favor? Go and tell him I've had enough of him, please. I've told him. I had enough. Mr. Moser, listen to me. You're wrong. And if you don't get it, I feel sorry for you. And if your son's broken curfew before, and I just have a sense, right here, based on my experience, that a 10-minute curfew violation isn't the only difficulty you've had with him, sir.
He's never been a problem.
Well, I guarantee you, father like you, he's gonna be.
Well.
Can I have an estimate of the damage, please?
I also have a police report if you would like to see it.
No, I don't have to see it.
Would you like to see the letter from the police officer that responded to the incident?
No, I would not.
Even it states everything that she stated at the time of the accident.
Listen to me very carefully, sir. I don't have to hear any hearsay or look at any hearsay. It's as simple a case as I would want to try 30 times a day. If she was speeding, that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is your son's act in picking up a chair and throwing it at her moving car. That he cannot do. And if you don't get it, I can't help you, sir. You've reached this age in your life when you are beyond redemption and beyond help. Say nothing else. The case, as far as you're concerned, is over. She may have done the wrong thing. I am not here to judge that. That is up to the police.
We did that night.
Here's right here.
Put it down. You don't get it.
You just got to make a statement that the police are doing their job. Well, then read what the police did for his job.
I don't know how I can make it any. If your son threw a chair at her car and she lost control of the car and she were killed, he would have been charged with manslaughter. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Do you
that.
understand that? Whether she was speeding, whether she was coking up in the car, whether she was drinking, if he threw a chair at her car and her car went out of control and she was killed, you would be visiting him in state's prison. And if you don't get that, I can't do anything about it. You're too old and too thick. How much did it cost you to fix the car?
$932.
Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The damage that they're asking for is not all the damage. Her window was up. How do you damage a seatbelt when the window's up?
I was 6 months pregnant at the time. It could have been much worse, and thank goodness it wasn't.
I was in the wrong, you're right, but I mean,